Um, Hello guys. My name is Jacob. Welcome to um, our tutorial or our lesson on differential calculus. Today we are focused on tangent and normal. Equation for tangent and normal. Okay, so before we go any further, we have to first understand what a tangent is. So the definition of a tangent is a straight line that touches a curve only at one point. That's a tangent, right? So for example, if I have a curve like this, I can have a tangent there. If it's touching only that point, and anyhow, I can have a tangent there. You see, it's touching only once. For example, this cannot be a tangent. Why? Because it's not touching once. You see, a tangent only touches once. That's a tangent. What about a normal? What is a normal? A normal is a line that is perpendicular to a tangent. So a normal will be like this. So in this case, a normal can be anywhere. You can have a normal there, you can have a normal there. But in the exercise in our syllabus, they will specifically say calculate a normal at this point. So we know that if it's at that point, because before we get a normal, we must first get a tangent. So if they give us a point, which means that's a point where we're going to get a tangent, then calculate the normal there, right? So a normal will form 90 degrees with a tangent, and we know the equation for gradients of slopes which are perpendicular. If you multiply two gradients, you get -1, right? Okay, so let's say this point is the x there is, let's say, A and B at that point, right? So now we have the equation of the graph, which is fx. So if I take value of x, I'm getting and substituting it into fx. Remember, every time you're calculating for y value, if you have a curve, you just substitute the x value at that point, you get the y value, right? So if you sub fa, I'm going to get b, which is y coordinate, right? But now, how do I get the gradient of the tangent? I have to differentiate the curve or my equation. Then after differentiating it, I'm getting f prime of x. Then if I substitute the value of x at that point, the answer I'll get is the gradient. Then now I have gradient of the tangent. How do I get a gradient of the normal? I use the formula m1 times m2 equals to -1 for perpendicular lines. Then from there, I can calculate my equation. Y minus y1 mx minus x1. Remember, y1 and x1, this is the same as a and b here. So we will have m, we'll have y1, we'll have x1. Then you solve your equation, you leave it in the form mx plus c, just like that. Okay, let's attempt the question. So I have this question from one of the textbooks for grade 12. They say find the equation of the tangent to the curve y equals to 3x squared at the point 1 and 3. So they give us the coordinates. So which means we do not have to substitute 1 into the equation and get y value. We already have y value. The only thing we need now is the gradient, and they are looking for the equation of what? The tangent. Only the tangent, not the normal. So we know if I derive this, I'm getting 6x. Now if I don't know, this is how if I substitute x, I'm getting gradient, so which is 6, just like that, right? If I substitute x, or I think the best way you can rename this f of x, it's fine, so that you know when you get here you can say this is f prime of x. When you get here you can say f prime of 1, which is 6, right? Then after getting that gradient, now we can get the equation, because the y and x values are already there. So we have y minus 3, our y1 is 3 here, then we have equals to gradient is 6, x1 is 1. Then what do we get? 6x minus 6, 6x minus 3, because minus 6 plus 3 is minus 3. That's your equation, just like that, straightforward. You saw that, right? Now let's try another one. Let's make it a bit interesting, still from the textbook. Now they say given g of x, which is a cubic function. Now we have x plus 2, 2x plus 1 squared. Determine the equation of the tangent at to the curve at x equals 2 minus 1. So they give us x. So we know if we have only x, we need the y coordinate and we need the gradient. Then we calculate, because it's only the tangent. If it's a normal, after the gradient you must do the gradient, the normal gradient, right? Because the gradient we get from the differentiation is for the tangent every time, right? So now we must first get the y. So g of minus 1. I think the easy way, why am I calling it the easy way? Because you are going to use it for differentiation also. You cannot differentiate the equation like that. So the easy way is to do what? Is to first simplify or factorize, or not factorize, simplify this equation. So x plus 1 all squared, it's 2 brackets, right? Which will give us 4x squared plus 4x plus 1. Right, if we continue, I'll have 4x cubed, then I'll have 4x squared and 4x squared and 8x squared. I'll have 12x squared. Guys, this is so we know this and this will be 4x cubed. There is no any other x cubed we can get, right? Then we leave it. You must find a way to try to simplify this quickly for your own sake. So now after x cubed, we have x squared, right? This and this give me 8x squared. But I also have another x squared, which is this and this, which is 4. 8 plus 4, it's 12. Then it's done. Now I go to another one. After x squared, I have x. I will get x if I multiply x and a constant, which is 1x. Then 2 and x, which is 8x, which means I have 9x. Then constant and constant, it's plus 2. You see, just like that. That's my gx. Now g of minus 1. Then you substitute there, use your calculator. But I think it's wise to also show substitution. I'm getting I think for me, I'm not just gonna use the calculator. I'm going, they got positive 1 on the textbook, but let's see. I'll have minus 4 plus 12, which is positive 8, minus 9, which is minus 1 plus 2, it's positive 1. Yes, then I got the y coordinate, so now which means my coordinate is minus 1 and 1. So now I must derive to get the gradient. So 4 times 3, so I'm deriving which equation? This one, g of x. 4 times 3, I'm getting 12x squared plus 24x plus 9. That's it, right? So if I substitute -1. The answer I'm getting is the gradient for the tangent. So I'll have -1 squared, 24 minus 1 plus 9. So let's see, I'll have 12 minus 24, which is minus 12 plus 9, which is -3. So my gradient is -3. How now I can get my equation for tangent, because I see I'll have y1, x1 and y1 are here. So y1 is +1, gradient is -3, x1 is -1. Then my answer will be -3x. This is -3, but if I take 1 also, the other side will be +1, so this is -2. That's my answer. I hope that's clear. -3x -2. Let's do another one. Hopefully the one where we get where we have to calculate the normal. Okay, I have one question here. They say determine the equation of the normal to the curve. Okay, they say determine the normal to the curve xy equals to -4 at -1 and 4. Guys, remember, every time you calculate, you are actually if you use the law of differentiation, you're first getting the tangent. You always have to get the tangent first, then you get the gradient of the normal by using the gradient equations for perpendicular lines, right? So the how can we differentiate this if it's like that? We cannot, so we make y subject of the formula, right? Now we have to differentiate this, but can we differentiate it like this? No, the x must be at the top. Yes, we have to. Okay, yeah, the x must be at the top. So now can we differentiate this? Yes, which is -1 and -4. If you multiply them, it's +4. If you subtract 1 at the top, it's -2. Now can we get the gradient? Yes, by what? Substituting -1. So what answer will I get? I will get +4 if you put it in your calculator. Gradient is 4, I believe. Then this is gradient of the tangent. Oh, name it, because gradient of the tangent is okay. When you use the rules of differentiation, the gradient you get is the one of the tangent every time, please. Then you must use the formulas to get gradient of the normal. Then according to this, gradient of the normal will be -1/4. When I was in matric, what our teacher told us is that after the formula you can just write the answer. You know, if one gradient is +4, the other gradient is the opposite fraction. Like, what do you need to multiply 4 with to get 1? That's 1/4, because 4 it's 4/1, so you just swap, which is 1/4, but you need -1, so it's -1/4. So if your gradient also was 3/2, then you know that the gradient of the normal will be -2/3. So you must make sure somewhere you have negative. If this was negative, this one will be positive, you see. Or you can use calculator to get it, it's also fine. Okay, then we got the gradient -1/4. Now we can go to our formula, y minus y1 m x minus x1. So I have y minus 4, I have 1 minus 1/4 x minus 1, which gives me +1. Then I have -1/4 x. Then I have -1/4. If I take that 4 to the other side, it's +4. Then you use calculator to combine those. I will get 15 over 4, I believe, because 4 is the same as 16 over 4, so it should be 15 over 4. Yes. Or you use the calculator to get that. Okay, and just like that, guys, I think that's everything. That's everything. But let's do one last one. And guys, usually you find this question in cubic functions usually, but yeah, so and it's rare that they look for normals. They usually look for only tangent, because even the chapter is the equation of tangent, not normals. But you have to know how to do normal in case they want it. Okay. Okay, so we have, okay, last one. We have determine the equation of the tangent to the curve defined by fx equals 2x cubed plus 2x squared minus 7x plus 1 at x equals to 2. So we know the first thing to do is get your y when your x is 2. Yeah, unfortunately I can't pause video and do the calculation, so yeah, this will also increase time of my video, and if I'm typing very quickly I might also make an error. Where's my calculator now? Okay, so we have 2 cube. You see already, plus 2 times 2 squared minus 7 times 2 plus 1. So I'm getting 3. I hope I didn't make any mistake. So which means my point is 2 and 3, because that's my y, right? So now how do we get the gradient? We first derive, which will give me 3x squared plus 4x minus 7. Then if I substitute 2 on the derived equation, I'm getting the gradient for the tangent, so which is 2 squared plus 4 2 minus 7. So I'm getting must substitute again, so I'm getting 13. I hope I didn't make any error, because that's 4 12 plus 8, that's 20 minus 7 is 13. Perfect. Then now my equation will be what? Y minus 3 13 x minus 2. Then my answer will be 13x minus 26 plus 3, it's minus 23. And I'm gonna end my video here. At least we kept it under 20 minutes. If you have any questions, you can comment under, or you can email me. If you check from the beginning of the video, there's my contact details. Alright guys, goodbye, see you next time.